Peace. Today is Wednesday, October 31st. Making today's math.
Understanding knowledge, all being born the culture freedom.
That's right. Understanding is the crystal clear picture drawn up in the mind from knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is the foundation of all things in existence. It is that gas that ultimately becomes a solid. And culture freedom is one's way of life, one's true way of life. Okay? My way of life is I, self, Lord, and Master. Peace. All right, peace. Welcome back to the United Me Godcast. I'm Lord Jamar. We got she's remotely here on the shindig. We got
Foxxy Alex
in this motherfucker. My man.
Fact checker Ray.
Oh shit. And then we got
Alexandra Hill.
Oh shit. And my man.
Okay.
Oh, I like how I just point and shoot like a motherfucking Canon camera in this bitch. What's good, y'all?
Boobs.
I am currently in the studio with Flip Mode Squad. We are working
That's
on
right.
a reunion album.
Tell him, digger. Tell him.
Sometime in the not so distant future, like too soon. So stay tuned.
That's what's up.
Flip Mode is the squad.
It's matter.
That's what's up. Shout out to Bussa Bus, Spliff Star, Rampage, Baby Shams, motherfucking Shaheem
I wanted
Reed.
to see if them could jump on camera real quick, but they look real seriously huddled in the booth. So I'm gonna let them finish cooking, and then I'll check them out in a couple minutes.
You get one of them rockhead niggas up on this motherfucking Godcast real quick. Okay? So, when we left, we were talking about skin complexion and bleaching, and we said we were going to talk about melanin. Did y'all look up any things about melanin while we were gone? No, you didn't, you motherfuckers. But I did in my mind because I already had this information and I just been waiting to reveal it to certain people. So let's just talk a little bit about melanin. What do you know about melanin, first of all? If I just ask an average person who I feel like doesn't know much, what do you know? What is melanin?
Well, as far as I know, melanin is what brings out the color in your skin. It's the part of your body that creates your complexion, that creates your skin tone, and it's either inherited, or you can obviously at this stage in the game, manufacture it from what we've been discussing, right? But it's what gives us our complexion. It's the part of our body scientifically that is brought out in our skin tone.
Well, that's what they'd like you to think.
Okay.
All it does.
I just set myself
melanin.
up.
Hey, that's what we do here. We let people walk into fucking
I just walked.
little
He
verbal
opened the
traps
door,
and shit.
My ass walked
And-
right.
Ha gotcha, motherfucker.
You smarty arty, nigga. Sunrise smarty arty.
What'd you say, girl? We can't even hear you. Fuck you talking about?
So is the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
Sweeter the juice.
The blacker
right.
that is true. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
I actually have a little melanin factoid.
What do you know about melanin? Go ahead.
See, because you got your laptop and everything.
Yeah,
like that.
he's peeking
I'm
at shit.
unprepared and shit.
Cool. Nah,
All light skinned and
I'm
unprepared.
on shindig with my phone and shit.
You're all
right?
light-skinned and
I'm all
unprepared.
light-skinned and unprepared and shit.
yeah. NASA sprays the space shuttle with melanin to prevent from burning up on reentry. No, that's a fact. That's a science.
So you're telling us
No, it's
melanin is
not.
a chemical?
Well, that's what they've been reporting for.
That's hilarious, and that leads us to a whole nother show.
Yeah, I just thought about that. Right.
Trust me, if you believe that, I got a couple buildings to sell you.
Definition of it is actually supposed to be the component in our bodies that protect us from the sun.
Right.
What's that they tell you? That's what they say in dictionary. Because that's not
Yeah,
even-
that's like the scientific definition of melanin. Yep.
Well, melanin is not just about your skin color. Okay, melanin deals with everything. Your spirituality, your intelligence, your memory, your it controls systems in your body as far as your circadian rhythms of how your sleep patterns, why your eyelashes grow to a certain piece, your hair. It is a balancer of everything, basically. Like
Gland, too,
that-
right? Isn't it a gland?
That sounds like the definition of what they tell us a brain does.
well, first of all, it's secreted from your pineal gland, which is in the very center of your brain. Okay, and well, some of us are melanin deficient. Some of us come from melanin deficient backgrounds. The Caucasian race is what we would call melanin deficient. Now, this is by their own scientific standards. This is not anything that, like, I'm not trying to be racist here or anything like, oh, Lord Jamar, he's talking bad. This is by scientific standards.
yeah.
There's races that are, melanin-rich, and then those that are melanin deficient. And melanin, it has so much more to do with just your skin color. Melanin is DNA. Like, they don't tell you those two. Okay, you got those two helix or whatever, and it looks like a staircase. Those two lines, and then there's the ones that go in between. The two lines, that's melanin. The thing between it is a protein, like a sugars, which helps bind it together, which holds it together. So melanin is responsible for a lot of systems inside your body and regulating these systems and bringing harmony to the universe, basically, to you and the universe. Your body, all animals, all things have melanin.
Right.
Before you chime in, I think that God deserves a round of applause for dropping that science.
Absolutely.
I'm fanning out. Yeah, I'm already a yes man. I'm
Absolutely.
Listen.
Absolutely.
That was tight.
Me
God
too,
dropped
me too. Me too.
Listen,
Dropping that knowledge.
because it's needed. Like we take certain things on face value, and they only tell us part of the story.
I just can't help but look at the shindig screen and see I'm the lightest motherfucker here.
Now,
I must be the dumbest.
Nah,
no.
it's not
no.
about that. We can't
You
get
still-
to that colorism stuff.
You still, well, hang on.
I'm just teasing.
Colors
I'm teasing, I'm teasing.
colors do identify certain things, though, and we have to
Well, yeah.
recognize that.
AKA melanin.
AKA melanin. Listen, the melanin deficient people have a different chemistry than people that are melanin rich.
Or abundant like me.
Like
That's
melanin,
what I'm saying.
melanin deficient
You're the most
people have high
melanin abundant.
melanin deficient people have higher levels of ammonia and sulfur inside their bodies. And you'll smell it, like when they say that white people smell like dogs or whatever. It's just when they get wet, it's because of the high sulfur count that occurs in a body that's less melanin rich. You understand? It's not that they really smell like dogs or anything like that. It's just a high sulfur and ammonia in the body.
Right.
There's all kind of chemicals that interact with each other. You see what I'm saying? And when we start to isolate certain chemicals, that's when problems happen. Like, this chemical needs to work with this chemical in order for life to fucking even happen. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Chemistry. Okay? And then listen to the word chemistry. Okay? But anyway,
Deep.
the science of relationships. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what, in pharmaceuticals and all of that, drugs fuck with the relationship between one thing and the other, you know, a
Right.
neuron and an electron, whatever the case may be, one receptor and another, they fuck with relationships. And see, relationships is what creates the universe. Man and woman creates the child. That's a relationship. You see, that now creates more life.
And that's absolutely chemistry.
And when you fuck with that relationship, like they do to us, you see where they fuck up the relationship between man and woman, the relationship between, you know, one receptor and another. This is now how you get drug addiction and all kind of bullshit like that. And not for nothing, people that are melanin-rich are more sensitive and susceptible to certain things. This is why they'll fucking pump the drugs at us, because we are more like, melanin makes everything better.
Right.
Like, it makes us, like, we see things more crisper than people that are melanin deficient.
Right.
We taste things better. Our emotions are different. Like, this is kind of what I'm talking about with hip hop too, as far as like white rappers and like and how like just the technology of it is not enough. You need the melanin in order for that true feeling. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To connect with the spiritual side of yourself. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we as original people do, and that's what our melanin enables us to be in contact with.
You know what? People don't even realize that like light eyes, like hazel eyes, blue eyes, green eyes, like that's actually a recessive gene. And I bug out when I see black women, you know, wearing color contacts. Like, oh, so you know, you don't even realize you're trying to emulate something that's actually recessive.
Right.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like, we do that all the time, though, as original people, and
because
it's like,
they think the rarer it is, the more beautiful it is. In that case, anyway.
well, not just well,
Whole nother topic.
Yeah.
yeah, but like a black person with blue. First of all, we create all colors. All black people can have any color eyes because we created all eye colors. You see what I'm saying? But we just have to.
These are black people with blue eyes.
Right. We have to just really acknowledge the fucking mental fuckery that has gone on to the point where we would actually just not want to be ourselves, to the point of bleaching your skin. Like that's just supposed to be painful from what I like they're actually rubbing it off. Like with a soap. Like
if I could touch that.
I remember back in the days in high school, like some of the first tattoos that niggas would get was these fucking eraser tattoos.
Yes,
and
right.
shit. You know what I mean? So niggas is taking pencil erasers and erasing the shit until your shit bleed, and trying to fucking just to have a tattoo, like, and that was some bullshit. Like, that was almost a form of bleaching it away. Like, it was painful. I did it. It was stupid. And, you know, we do a lot of dumb shit from lack of knowledge of self.
There's some footage from the Caribbean, particularly from Jamaica, of mothers bleaching their children. And the children are just wincing in like pain. It's sick, man.
Why? I mean, well,
Because they want their children. You know what? Here's the thing. In Jamaican culture, like I've met like stewardess, flight attendants, where they literally say, hey, listen, when they go for a job, human resources will tell them, you're too black. We can't hire you. In certain parts of Jamaica, your quality of life is dictated on your complexion. So a parent, you know what I mean, would be like, behooves them to be like, yo, I gotta let my child have a better life.
Yeah.
And they try to help. Shit is crazy.
Yeah, well, that's colonialism at its finest.
That's what.
I have a sister here. I am happy. I am happy. Are you mad? Is her name. She says, I am mixed. I was called non-black and shouldn't speak on black women's hair on a beauty platform and was called a hater. How do you feel about women and their hair? What is the opinion on black versus mixed women? Well, we have a mixed we have a mixed woman right here, little babushka right here.
Exactly.
First of all,
my college, my time to shine.
I won't just say this, but any white genealogist to say this, you got a drop of black blood in you, you black.
Absolutely.
Okay. First of all, the black melanated gene is usually the dominant gene. Mm-hmm. Like, again, two white people can't make a black baby, yet two black people can make what looks like a white baby, which we would call an albino or something like that. You understand what I'm saying? All things come from us. Like, all things come from the extremely melanated, and then we get less melanin as we go down the line.
When you're directly, in my case, like for instance, and I have two daughters that look completely different. Yes, they have two different fathers, but their fathers are both African American, right? My mother is Russian. She does not want to be categorized
Russian
white.
Right.
She gets offended. She is not white American.
But Russian is white.
And my father is black and of Jamaican descent, right? Born in Brooklyn. His parents are both Jamaican.
I'm sorry. I mean, chime in. Don't mistake nationality with race.
No, absolutely
black
not.
Russian.
Absolutely not.
She just
right.
Okay.
But coming back to,
I hear you.
Where it comes out in color and hair texture and things like that, to me, from my personal experience, from myself being biracial and then having given birth to two daughters who have African American fathers and have two completely different complexions, hair textures. I mean, it's something that is a very sensitive issue to me, but growing up in the hood, I was called white girl. I was bullied. I was, and then having also experienced the other side of the fence and having gone to schools where I was amongst white people.
And then I was a nigga.
Yeah. Right? It didn't matter that my hair was straight or that I was light-skinned or pretty or any of that.
You wasn't white.
I was not white.
Right.
And to them, I was off limits.
Let me be sorry. Excuse me.
But to go back to the case of the melanin.
And we want to answer this sister's question.
Absolutely.
As well.
And to go back to that, yeah, there is historically in this country, I mean, there's been race mixing since the beginning of time, right? So how do we sift through all of that?
So let me just drop this. So then what do you think about the scientific statement being bandied about that race is a social construct and that there actually is no race?
Bullshit. That's bullshit.
Well, in this country, is it? Is it not? Because let me tell you something. Race is a direct. If
can say anything is a social construct,
history, right?
Yet something is the reality of something is still real.
What was that rule, Jamar? That rule that was brought up that determined who could vote in the beginnings and the origins of this country.
What was the brown bag rule?
The 10%. No, it was the 10%. It was if you had a drop of African American blood in your system, you were automatically put in the colored, so you couldn't vote, right?
Okay.
That to me defines a racial construct, right? Because now they're the society that you are growing up in, the social construct. But it's developed around race, right? Because they're trying to say that they're trying to purify one race. And
that part of it is the social construct. But what I'm saying is, in the reality, like especially in biology, the fact that white people and black people are different, okay, that's not a social construct. That's reality. So
then where do biracial people fall in that, though?
Somewhere in the middle. somewhere,
right?
somewhere
That's something that we all
in the
have
middle.
to deal
Although,
with.
but maybe not somewhere in the middle, because like I said, black dominates. So I'm not going to say that just because
it does.
Hold up, just because that your father might be black and your mother is white, that makes you 50% of each one. That's not necessarily true.
Okay, well, for me, I believe it's true.
First of all, you got a bunch of people that'll be
I
like,
never belonged in either or.
I'm a quarter Irish. I'm a third.
But then when you bring
Indian.
that up, that leads me to ask you, then where do my daughters fall? Right? Where do my daughters fall?
They black.
Says you.
Right? No, says you. Says their
not
DNA.
Necessarily the
says
rest
their
of society.
DNA.
Well,
says
everybody else is different.
I'm not talking about what people are saying. I'm talking about the reality of what it is. Mm-hmm. So the social construct could be.
But in the black
Russian,
community, black community, like I was telling you,
your girl's cutting me off.
Your
girl's cutting me off, digga.
Me growing up in the black community. I was white girl. Didn't matter to them.
And that was a social construct. But are you really a white girl? In reality, no.
No.
Yes. I think the demographic that you're referring to, Alex, like I mean, these are my nieces, so of course, I can speak.
Right.
I think in our, in our society, especially with that mentality, like the colorist black person mentality, like those people are generally looking at hair texture. Like you have a very fine texture of hair, so people automatically equate straight hair or fine hair with being white or being mixed. Now, you have a very light-skinned daughter who has very kinky curly hair.
Right.
She's going to be called nigga across the board.
Okay, hang on. Before...
And on the flip of that, on the flip side of that, he has a dark-skinned daughter with very fine, almost Indian texture hair.
That's my point. What I was trying to make.
And consider, the colorist black person will look at her and, actually, I don't even want to say colorist. I want to say the ignorant ones will consider that exotic. But
they could look at it however they want, but the DNA ain't gonna lie, and the chemistry and the chemical structure is not gonna lie. So yes, there are social constructs, but then there's reality within these social constructs, and so race is something real. Race is real. Okay, so now we can't just say it's a social construct. But listen, before we go to break, Tori Bless Heru, okay, just shouted us out, and I did want to mention this, but they're saying it so eloquently here. Let me just read what he says. Melanin is your central nervous system. I forgot to hit y'all with that. Melanin, let's say that again, is your central nervous system. Taste buds, reason why we season our food the way we do as black people, okay? It is our muscles in which give us rhythm and reason why we can jump and run fast and why we are stronger. It makes us more spiritually closer to God. We as original people have 12 melanin chambers, and Caucasian people only have 2. Just some fun facts on melanin. Listen, we're just going to let this soak in a little bit to the people.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And listen, I encourage y'all, don't never take nothing on face value. Like, don't just say like, oh, Lord Jamar told me this and I'm running with it. Go do your own fucking research. Find out for yourself. Crack the egg and get to the yolk. Okay? That's what we do. We don't take nothing on face value, not even from the God. Okay? We'll be back. You know what I mean? Godcast. Peace.
Peace. It's the absence of all confusion. United we stand, divided we fall. 2 fingers together is the real peace sign, y'all. Brand Nubian peace gear. Hoodies. T-shirts. Snapbacks. Available at hoodg.com. Get yours today.